Feel like your partner's world revolves around them and you're just living in it?
And how much you desire to be loved is how much you are allowing projection to happen. It's in the details that manipulation happens. It's not in the big things, unless it's a really overt narcissist. You start to lose yourself because the way they shift it around on you, you feel that it's your fault and you need to respect who they are. And yet they would do the same thing. If they had something exciting to share and you're sitting on the couch and you didn't jump up saying hi, they get really sad and upset and they will blame you for it.
You might be dealing with a narcissist. Ever feel like your partner's world revolves around them and you're just living in it? You might be dealing with a narcissist. In this video, we'll uncover the 7 telltale signs that your partner could, in fact, be a narcissist. And then we'll let you know what you can do about it. Trust me, you do not want to miss a single one of these, especially the last one. Let's dive in. Rain, let's talk about it.
Oh, thanks, Mel. So yes, there are 100 signs, but these are the 7 telltale signs. These are really important signs. So the first one is gaslighting. I'm sure a lot of people know what gaslighting is. I just really need to define it for you because you need to understand in narcissism, nothing is that obvious. That's why it's called narcissism. It isn't really in your face. It's very under the belt. So gaslighting, basically, if you don't have an idea about it, or if you do, I think it's important just to remember it. So gaslighting means the attempt by one person to erode another's reality. So basically by telling them things like that what you're experiencing is not true. And this all started out because in this movie, her husband would go around and dim all the lights. And she would just be like, but I just put them all on. He's like, no, there's something wrong with you because they're all dimmed. So that's the idea of it. Gaslighting basically, because it was a gaslight that he was working on and deceiving her. But what it is, it basically erodes your sense of reality. You start to doubt who you are a lot. You're like doubting your own story. You're doubting your own experience. You're constantly second guessing your actual own reality, your perception of reality. Did I really say that? Did this really happen? I'm not sure. I was sure I cooked dinner yesterday, but he's saying that I didn't. Or I was sure that we made this appointment to go there, but it's sounding like that's not where we're heading to. Or it's just you're constantly in a state of confusion. And why do they do that? What is the point of putting so much effort into gaslighting someone? It's basically to allow them to feel that they have more of a sense of control over their life and over the person in their lives. This is just to have a sense of control. This is how you start to feel while you're being gaslighted. Now, you can't be like, oh, you're gaslighting me. You won't know it that quickly. You'll know it once you understand how does it feel inside your body. And that's how we're going to go through each one of them, because it's really important for you to detect it for yourself within you and not wait for someone to identify these things for you. So with gaslighting, you're going to start to feel like you're second guessing yourself a lot, that you're really confused about your reality. You're very uncertain about your thoughts, what's really happening. You start to lose track of what's real and what isn't. You're basically in a state of self-doubt. You're feeling lonely, you're more insecure, you're confused, you feel a little isolated, because honestly, once we lose the sense of our own mind and we start to believe somebody else's reality, we end up forgetting, like we end up lacking trust in what we're doing and how we're thinking. So basically, gaslighting, it takes one person who needs to be in control to maintain a sense of self, and the other who needs the relationship to maintain true self-control. So this is like, gaslighting works when you desire something so much. You want to have this relationship. You have to have this person in your life no matter what. Relationship means the world to you above all else. So everything and anything this person says, you will trust and believe, because the relationship is more important than your own sanity. What is a quick solution, and these are really quick solutions you can use, is to actually start taking notes down. So if you are in this experience and you are feeling a lot of self-doubt and you're confused about your reality, and like, oh, well, I'm forgetful. Oh, I'm just so forgetful. Like you start doing this and you weren't really a forgetful person, start to take notes down. we talked this time and this day, and we said, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. Oh, the lights were switched off. I did this. Start to take notes. It's going to help you realize where truth is, because it's very easy to gaslight. Is this cool so far?
Yes.
Okay. Yes? Okay, great. Second point, projection. Projection is really very, very, very important to pay attention to. What is projection? Projection basically is assigning thoughts and feelings onto a convenient alternative, meaning I will assign whatever I feel and think onto somebody else, and I'll make it their responsibility. I'll accuse them. They will be accused of these thoughts, these actions, and these emotions. It will not be my responsibility. That is what projection actually means and look like. It's like whatever I feel about myself, I can't take responsibility. I'll point the finger and let it be your problem to deal and solve. Now, there's a whole video we shot of projection, which I highly recommend after watching this video to go and look at projection. We're going to have it in our description. So when you are being projected on, what are you feeling? You don't feel like a good person, okay? You're the cause of the relationship failing. Like you always feel it's your fault that the relationship is failing. You're the one that's always trying to pick it up. You're the one that's always trying to make it matter. You're the one that's always working on the relationship as if the relationship is an entity and you are the sole provider of its health, right? You feel responsible for your partner's feelings. You try to figure out how to make them feel better because now it was your fault that they feel this bad. You feel more apologetic and you're confused and you feel lonely. Like, just watch how many of these things you're going to notice they're the same emotions. You're going to feel lonely. You start to feel insecure about who you are. And this one includes guilt. You're going to start to feel guilty, a little confused, very isolated, and over apologetic, right? So when you're feeling isolated, insecure, unsure, you feel like you're always the one to blame. It's always your fault. You're going to start reading books and trying to figure out like, oh my God, it's all me. It's all me, right? And you feel extremely lonely because there's no one to share this with. Why did this happen? Okay. It's to get you, because once you're projected on, it's to get you to do things that you don't originally want to do. It's against your value system. It's against your ethics. It's against your principle. It's against your imagination. It's something they want you to do something, so you become that extra people pleaser. You get to say yes to things that you originally don't want to say yes to, and not hard things, simple things like I really don't want to go out to that dinner. You'll end up saying yes because you've been projected on and now you're feeling guilty, right? For you to take full responsibility for whatever their bad behavior was and make it your own and try to figure it out. And the feeling of I'm not good enough. Of course, this boils down to I doubt who I am again. It's just the natural boiling down to self-doubt. What can you do in projection? How can you help yourself see clearly with projection? Trust me, that video that we did film is going to tell you exactly what to do. But at the same time, one of the greatest solutions you can use, and I'll give you an extra tip here, is notice how much you desire to be loved. And in how much you desire to be loved is how much you are allowing projection to happen and for you to believe that whatever this person is projecting on you. So this is a self-discovery moment, right? How desperate am I to be loved? Okay. So desperate that I'm ready to take on everyone else's responsibility and emotions, make them mine and work through it. Very good question. Something you to contemplate. Also write it down or just contemplate with yourself. Just look at the sky and start thinking of how much am I desiring to be loved? Right? Okay. Are we ready for the next one?
Yes. This is great.
Yes. Okay. So the third sign, if you are with a narcissist, is blame shifting. Now, blame shifting kind of goes hand in hand with projection, but it's a different angle. So don't forget, there are many different angles of manipulating their prey or the victim or the person who's really desperate for love and companionship and all these insecurities that we sensitives have, right? And we like want to please. So blame shifting is changing topics and diverting your attention to something else. So diverting one's attention to something else to point it back at you. Basically, how can I stop this conversation from happening? Because now it's about me, and twisting it around and making it your fault again. And it's called blame shifting because maybe you're blaming the person. I told you to take the garbage out. I asked you to please, blah, 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 be available with this. I asked you to wash the dishes. Like it really, they're usually in the simplest forms. It's in the details that manipulation happens. It's not in the big things unless it's a really overt narcissist. So it'll be like in those simple, like, I'll blame you. You're going because you really want to understand, like, for example, that really hurt my feelings. Very normal sentence. You're in an outing and maybe he ignored you or something happened. You're like, that really hurt my feelings. The response will be, this is how the blame shifting happens. Oh God, not this again. I can't take it anymore. You're way too sensitive. I can't do it. That's blame shifting, right? So it's not like you're actually blaming the person. You're trying to understand or express how you feel. Because of course, if you're a sensitive and an empath and all this wonderful stuff, you have taught yourself not to blame anyone you talk about your feelings. And it shifts around and it becomes, oh, there you go again, you're sensitive. What happens? You start to doubt yourself. You feel confused. You're feeling alone and isolated and there's something wrong with me. But you're also frustrated because why didn't they hear me? Why are they talking about something else? How is it my fault again? And in the blame shifting there's another example. Simple. So where were you? Maybe you were supposed to meet them somewhere. Maybe you're whatever. Just a simple question. Somebody walks in. Oh, where were you? An answer that's blame shifting is, you have so many insecurities. Do I have to answer you every time? Can't you wait until I walk in and I calm down? It's like you could have answered the question, but it's blame shifting. So it's really important to understand that they're very subtle. It's not like you're blaming someone and then they blame you back. I mean, this happens with normal people, all humans, right? Somebody's going to blame me, I'm going to blame them back. But as empaths and sensitives, we don't go there. We get, I feel, I'm asking a question, blame shifting. So now what happens? The blame is on you, okay? You're feeling isolated. You're feeling misunderstood. You feel unresolved because your question has never been answered. Great solution. You really want the solution? Because what happens then, you start to defend yourself. This is really, really important. You'll be like, no, it's not that I'm sensitive. I was just asking a question. Or, oh God, so what? I just wanted to know, like, why did you talk to me that way there? Like, it made me feel really bad. And you start to defend yourself. I didn't mean to be sensitive. I'm working on myself. I'm trying. So solution number one, the first solution you get to do is never, ever, 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 ever defend yourself. Write it on the walls. Etch it in your mind. Never, ever, ever defend yourself with a narcissist. Learn how they do it. This is what we do. We learn from the masters, okay? They're the masters of deceptions. We are the masters of light. We learn how they do it. Do they ever defend themselves in front of you? Ever. This is time to pay attention. They do not. You do not ever defend yourself. Why? Defending yourself means you are guilty. You've already gone into guilt. And if you're very sensitive, you're going to guilt yourself like crazy. There's nothing to defend yourself about. You stick to the topic. Okay? So never defend yourself to anyone, no matter how much you want to. You're going to notice an urgency to defend. This is the time where you put a stop to that, and you simply do not defend yourself. When you notice yourself defending yourself, don't guilt yourself over it. Just be like, oh, God, how many times do I defend myself through conversations? That's all you got to do. Because the last thing you ever need is somebody else to blame you, which you already do au naturel to yourself, and the narcissist is there is to flare it up for you. Does blame shifting make sense?
Yes, that was a very good description and examples of that. Thank you.
Okay.
Keep them coming, baby. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. All right. All right. Fourth one is called word salad. Still in the same department of projection, blame shifting, word salad. So word salad is like a salad. You have a salad, a bowl of salad. You're putting in the tomatoes, the cucumbers, the lettuce, like I like olives, whatever, feta cheese, like whatever it is, you have this whole thing. And then now you're mixing it up, right? So nothing's coherent. This isn't only lettuce. This isn't only tomatoes. This is everything. That's word salad. So what's the point of word salad and what is word salad? So the point of word salad is it causes confusion, okay? And detours from the topic, right? It starts using word salad lets the narcissist avoid the topic at hand, right? To convince you that you're at fault again, right? So it's dodging the topic. They don't want to talk about it, right? So all of a sudden, it's a word salad, right? So there are a few points in word salad. You'll notice circular conversations. There's no end point to the conversation. You don't get resolved. There is no solution. There's nothing basically. It's in circles, right? So you think you're working something out and it seems like it worked out. And either a few minutes later, a few days later, a few weeks later, the same topic opens up and it's as if you're starting all over again, right? Word salad. So it makes you go crazy because you're like, but we talked about this and we agreed and I thought you heard me and I thought I was heard and it's very subtle. And they'll be like, yeah, of course I get it. But then it's as if nothing happened, right? There's nothing that shifted and changed. Another one is condescending and patronizing tone. It's just a tone. Remember, a lot of times narcissists will not say really bad words, except the malignant, but narcissists in general, because they don't want you to hold anything against them, right? But the tone will be under the belt. You'll feel it in your gut. You will always feel it in your gut. You'll feel it in your heart, like, that hurt, but they're smiling. But they didn't say anything that I can grab onto and have a discussion. That's word salad, is where you can't figure out what is being said to you. Bringing up past wrongdoings. Like in the middle of the thing, you're like, oh my God, how many times did I ask you to please pick up the kids on time? Please just pick up the kids on time, right? You're exasperated. You've had it up to here. You've repeated the same thing 100 times, right? And you say that, and then they'll bring up something from the past that you've done wrong, which like a normal human being, you will, right? And that becomes the topic now. Well, remember the time that you forgot, I don't know how in nursery, and it was once that you ever did? And that becomes the topic, and you start to defend yourself again, right? It's the same cycle. It's just called word salad. Accusing you of doing things they don't do, right? Like, I would never talk to you this way, right? I always put you into consideration. I don't do that. When you come back from work, do I rush after you to talk? I don't do what you're doing to rush after you to talk. I respect your space. I remember with my ex, it was like, I'd like to come back home and have him ask about my day. It was the thing that I truly desired. Like, I come back home because I'd come back home sometimes after him. I had 2 kids. I walk in, I'd be like, I can't wait for someone to be excited to receive me, right? But he'd just be flipping through the TV and hey, and whatever. And I'd be like, but then I'd rush to the couch, I'd be like, oh, I'd give a million excuses. Oh, he's tired, whatever. Run to the couch and start to share myself, my experience. And oh my God, I'm a very excitable person, right? And then he would just he would turn it around. I'd be like, well, I'm tired. You do this a lot. You walk in, you expect me to be a certain person. And then you walk in, you get disappointed. And all of a sudden it's my fault for wanting to be that person. And then I had to schedule certain timings to sit and talk and have conversations. And I was cool with that. I was, as long as he gives me the time that I need to communicate. So it was scheduled. Everything was timed and scheduled. I couldn't be myself. So word salad is you start to lose yourself because the way they shift it around on you, you feel that it's your fault and you need to respect who they are. And yet they would do the same thing. If they had something exciting to share and you're sitting on the couch and you didn't jump up saying hi, they get really sad and upset and they will blame you for it, right? So word salad is, one of them is they will accuse you of the things that they say that they don't do, but they actually do it. So now you're just focused on yourself. And then constantly explaining, you feel like you're constantly explaining basic human emotions. It's like it's always basic. This is human values. This is how people talk. When somebody speaks, you listen, you pay attention. So word salad is where anything you say gets mixed in the mess and it's as if it's gone. Okay. Another one is they have many multiple personas. So if you're angry at something, they will be the good cop. If you're angry at the same thing a few days later, they're the bad cop. They have many different personalities that keep showing up. You don't know, are they going to be on my side or are they not going to be on my side? Do they see where I'm coming from or will they always take the other person's side? So word salad basically means a lot of bullshit coming out of their mouth, right? And you're just constantly confused. This allows you to feel frustrated, isolated, depleted, alone, and of course, back to self-doubt. You doubt who you are, you doubt your worth, you doubt your mental clarity, you doubt who you are. And the solution, oh, wait, before I get to the solution, the reason for this, because it's really important to understand the reason, is for you to be more compliant. So what does it mean to be more compliant? It basically means that I will be more of a yes person to them than a no. Oh, okay. I'll talk on the right times. Oh, they don't like to be disturbed here. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to tell them about the dishes again. Oh, you become more compliant. You start letting go of more of the things that you actually want and incorporating what they want because you don't want to be isolated again. So the solution to this, and this is such a fabulous solution, trust me, it works so well. You become a repetitively boring person. Basically, if you are asking, why did you hurt my feelings? My feelings were really hurt that evening. What happened? Right? And they go on a tangent, blame shifting, projecting, word salad. You come back to the same thing. Stop. Ask the question again. Ask the question again. Do not change it. Do not defend. Nothing. You keep repeating the same thing that you want to know, or you shared, or you expressed non-stop, and watch what happens. They can't get away with it. What happens is your confidence comes back because you start to notice how many times you ask the thing and they keep swirling around it, but never directly answering your question. This awakens you to truth. This is what's important. The whole idea of all this is for you to awaken to truth. You'll end up seeing something differently. You'll end up being like, oh my God, how often has this person never really truly responded in kindness or given me validation for how I'm feeling or responded clearly or kept manipulating the conversation around? You stick to your guns. When they don't and they don't will choose not to answer, you can simply, after observing this, just walk off. You don't want their answer anymore. You know they don't have your solution. It's really that simple. But you just need to be aware and be confident enough in yourself because there is a fear of being alone. There's a fear of being abandoned. All this from gaslighting till word salad, all this is to deteriorate your self-confidence and self-worth, right? So in repetition, you'll be able to stand up for yourself. Now, I need you to continue because the next three are super important. And especially the last one, it's going to blow your mind. And this is something that nobody is really aware of or talks about. So continue watching. So number 5, it's the silent treatment. Now this one used to hurt me the most. And then it became the best gift I was ever given when I understood it. So I'm going to give you this. Silent treatment is horrendous. They used to use it in prisons to actually drive their prisoners crazy. So the silent treatment is one of the most painful things that you can possibly experience. And when you understand it, it is one of the most things that will free you for the rest of your life. So basically, silent treatment is crazy making, referred to also as stonewalling. So a lot of times we use stonewalling, silent treatment. It's a refusal to communicate. They've energetically held back. It's a passive aggressive attitude. There's a lot of contempt and disapproval in their attitude. It's not straight in your face. None of these are straight in your face. It's this underlying disapproval, this underlying contempt. It's very passive aggressive. Okay. For example, you had an argument, you had a misunderstanding, I don't know, and you maybe didn't even have an argument, okay? You got a phone call from a friend and you just want to share the story with your partner, right? So you want to talk about this thing, but then they ignore you, okay? Or they talk to you, but it's very dry. You don't feel they're emotionally invested. They're not having eye contact with you. They're busy doing a million things. Okay. There's a disconnect from you. And silent treatment is a way of punishment. This is a punishment. Okay. It's a form of punishment for you not agreeing with them to a point of view or something they had said back then or in this moment. So immediately they take their emotions away. Why? Because the thing we love the most is what they hold back. So if you are someone who loves affection, approval, communication, attention, and respect, they hone all that energy back in. They're only giving it to you because of what you need. And when they hoover you, we'll talk about hoover in a completely different episode. But when they want to punish you and give you the silent treatment, meaning I'm not going to give you anything of what you need of me. I may talk to you. Yes, covert narcissists will talk to you. I remember he would sit and talk to me and I'd talk, but there was no emotions, disconnected from me completely. Wouldn't eye contact. Would be like, well, I'll close my eyes while you speak. So it's very disrespectful. It's very, or like he was like always busy moving things and doing things. I'd be like, why don't you watch? Can we sit and talk and you look at me? He'd be like, they do this in movies. Like, why are you different? Like, people still cook and move and talk. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, well, this is a serious topic. I like full attention, right? They won't give it to you. So the silent treatment comes in gushes. You'll feel it like, right? And you start to feel unloved, invalidated, insignificant, alone, and of course, a lot of self-doubt. It is to make you feel isolated and unlovable and alone, that you're the only person in the world that deserves for somebody to ignore them. So think back of your parents. This is how our parents brought us up. I don't know if all of you, but this is how I was brought up. I think a lot of people I know, where you did something bad, the parent would pull their emotions away, would pull their love away, and they would speak to you. They would hardly try to speak to you, right? They'd be really mad. They can't even look at you, right? And so it's terrifying. It is a terrifying experience because all of a sudden you're talking to a robot. You have disappeared. You are insignificant. Some of the malignant narcissists disappear for 3-4 days giving the silent treatment, while the partner at home is panicking, waiting for a phone call, not knowing, not getting responses, complete silent treatment until they're so crazed up that when he comes back, they forget the entire problem. They delete it completely. And now they're just so happy to have the attention of this narcissist back, to have them back, right? One kind word from a narcissist after the silent treatment, you're ready to be okay with anything. Okay. One look, one thought, one conversation. That's how damaging silent treatment is. Okay. So what can you do? The solution for silent treatment, and this was the best solution in the world for anyone who's suffering through this, whether you know it or not. This video is for you to know that you are or not, because it's subtle, right? The solution of all solutions is when the silent treatment is given to you, think of it as a gift. You have been given the best gift in the world. You have been given the silent treatment from the narcissist. They pulled their energy away. They pulled their attention away. They think you are dying and shriveling, which you probably will be, right? But you're going to pick up and say, oh my God, instead of giving 99.9% of my attention about him, the relationship, how I sucked, what I didn't say I should have said, I should fight back, all that nonsense. When the silent treatment happens, take it as divinity giving you a gift of space where his energy is not attached to yours. And it's your opportunity to sit with yourself and be like, oh my God, what do I love? Who am I? What would I like to do with my time? I miss my friends. I miss my family. I miss my sanity. Use that time to build your self-worth again, to build your identity outside of that person. Silent treatment is your magical gift. We don't use it because they know how to manipulate you. They know everything about you. Use it to your advantage and you will slowly start to cure yourself. It's like you will start to release these weeds from inside of you that have been so infiltrated that you can't see straight, because all of a sudden you're going to kind of matter a little bit more to you instead of them and the relationship mattering more than anything in the world. That is the biggest trick to silent treatment. So I hope this is making sense. And of course, we can dive deep into, there's so much more depth. This is like really quick. Okay. Mel, are we good so far?
This is fabulous. Keep going. I love it.
All
Excited to
right.
get to the last one. I am excited to hear the last one. We're getting close. And all of these are amazing. All of them, there's so much detail to it. So I
I
love it.
just want you all to know that even Mel doesn't know the whole list. When she asked, we're like, let's keep it as a surprise here. So there's a lot of like excited energy.
It's true. She would not tell me yesterday. She was like, no, we're just going to wait. I'm like, what is it? What is it? So let's go.
Yes. Okay. So number 6. So number 6 is really very, very important. The 6th one is triangulation. So you might think, what is triangulation? What is that? Is it a triangle? Well, I didn't do a triangle right. Anyway, is it a triangle? And I'm like, yeah, it's exactly like a triangle. Triangulation basically means it is a weapon that is used to invoke jealousy within, right? Within the partner. So it's either partner, sibling, friend. It really doesn't matter. I'm just using partner as in, that's what's coming out of my mouth. So how to provoke jealousy. What does jealousy do? Okay. Jealousy allows you to become insecure about who you are. Jealousy allows you to feel more isolated. Jealousy actually shames you of yourself because you're like, I'm not a jealous person. I always want good for people, but I'm feeling this feeling, right? So now you're invested on figuring out how shitty am I? I'm feeling these feelings. So jealousy in itself is a great way to provoke within you. So now you're consumed with this person. Jealousy also makes you go after this person, figuring out what are they doing? What are they not doing? Because you have a feeling inside that something's happening. So you've got the feeling, that's your intuition. But if you're in a narcissistic relationship, you're really not that close to your intuition. It's really hard to even hear it. And even if it does show up, you completely deny it and ignore it. But let's say you do have that intuition, okay? They're building up jealousy inside of you. And now you'll think, oh, you'll be like, oh, is it jealousy towards humans only? Like if it's a guy, jealousy towards another woman? No. Triangulation is jealousy towards anything, everything, including humans, the plant, the TV, a car, a home, a boss, a mom, a teacher. It is irrelevant. So, simple example. Let's say your husband or your wife come into the house every day and they get really excited to sit on the TV. Okay. And that's where they spend most of their time. Or the minute they walk in, that's when they decide to call their mom or their best friend, right? Now, look, it's a person, it's a TV, or when they first walk in, the only attention they give are the plants in the house, let's say. And you're there excited, you want that attention, but the attention is not given to you. It's given to an object, it's given to another person, it's given to a hobby, right? This is provoking jealousy. Why? Because now, don't you hear a lot of women saying, oh, he loves his car so much, even more than me, right? His car is the most important thing, or his den, or his, I don't know what, whatever it is, right? The person has chosen, right? That, they're like, I wish I could just break that car, right? I wish I could like seal off that room where he can never go in there, because that's jealousy provoking. And so you start to feel like you're not good enough. There's something wrong with you. You're too needy. You become needy. And the more you become needy, the more they know they have you hooked. So you need his attention. You need her time. You need to spend whatever, or you need this person's everything, right? Because they're giving it to something else. They're giving the love that you desire to someone else. The conversation that you're dying to have, they're having it with somebody else, right? They'll go out of their way to help this colleague that they refuse to tell you anything about because you're too jealous. I can't even tell you about my friends. You even get jealous of my guy friends. Like, because when you're with them, everything I've ever requested, you offer there, right? So triangulation is very, very dangerous because you don't even know who you're being triangulated against. I remember my first narcissist, he was triangulating me with his ex, okay? An ex who left him supposedly, right? But it was always her. Oh, and she was so pretty and she was so this. I was feeling jealous of someone I had never met and he says supposedly wasn't even in touch with. I was also jealous of the time he would spend with his best friend. With his best friend, he would laugh and smile and be funny and sweet, and they would talk deep conversations. I started to develop jealousy towards his best friend. It was insane because I wasn't known to be a jealous person. Another relationship I had, same thing, except I would be jealous from the plants, from his mom. His mom was on the phone 24 hours a day. Everything he would share with his mom and never share with me, right? And so it was all this, it's outside of your control. So now you become a person that you're disappointed in. You're really disappointed in who you are. You don't even know who you are. And sometimes you act crazy. Like you want to look through his phone and you want to know this and you want to know that. It starts to make you go absolutely insane, and no one stands by your side. There's no one standing by your side because to the world, you're insane. Okay? They don't know what is happening inside. In a healthy relationship, your partner does not want you to be jealous. If anything, they're working so hard on making you not feel jealous. Okay? So, the solution to this, or something that can help you through this, okay, is write a list of your qualities. If you don't remember your qualities, at least try to go back when you were 12. It doesn't even matter when in your timeline you're going to receive those qualities. I was great at painting. My boyfriends loved my legs. I'm a great thinker. Write a list. I'm great at making my nails. It doesn't even matter what it is. Write a whole list and have that always in front of you. Why? You want to boost yourself up again. You want your confidence to come back from you, within you. Because when they take your confidence away, what happens? I have self-doubt. I don't respect myself. I give all my power to somebody else. Everyone else matters other than me. And the demonic entities in the thought start to come through. So the list of the qualities that you have throughout your life, one at every age, write it down. I used to love candy. I'm great at eating candy. Write it down. I don't even care. You just want to remind yourself of who you are. You want to remember who you are. Okay? And now we're coming to the last one. Okay? And the last one is flying monkeys. Flying monkeys. So if you remember the Wizard of Oz, there was the witch and she had flying monkeys. And the flying monkeys were the ones that would go do the dirty deed of the witch, right? The witch wouldn't get her hands dirty, only in the big things. But she had a whole bunch of flying monkeys. So flying monkeys for narcissists are basically their fan club, okay? The fan club that they have, that they use to carry out their bidding. Friends, family, co-workers, your family, your friends, your co-workers. So the best part is, and this is like, you can't even, you're going to know it, you're going to feel it, you're going to be like, but everyone loves this person. Everyone loves him or her. Everyone listens to him or her. Everyone praises him and her. And all of a sudden it's like, I'm not believed. I'm not heard. My best friends don't have my back. My own family doesn't have my back. Like they get excited when we come over because he's coming over, right? So flying monkeys are the closest people to you that he's able to manipulate. So from the very get-go, they get to know your family and they get to know your friends, right? And they're charmers. They start to charm their way into it. So this is where they start to groom the people in your lives. They start to groom them of like how intelligent I am. I'm this, I'm that. And it's not in a grandiose way at all. Because both overt and covert will do the same way. The covert is just sweet and nice and shy and, just a good guy kind of thing. I'm a good guy kind of thing. The overt is more of like, I'll get you gifts. I'll do this. I'll take you out. Right? But both are doing the same. They're grooming the people that have an influence on you in your world to shift them to his world. So when you start to feel crazy, lonely, depressed, you're being gaslighted, triangulated, all this stuff, you cannot turn to them because you sound like the crazy one. Because what they'll say is, come on, he's so shy. Like he's so into himself. He doesn't really, everybody really likes him. He's really nice. Like he goes out of his way to buy his gifts. And you're like complaining like, he's so stingy with money. They're like, we don't even believe you. I mean, look at the watch you're wearing, look at the jewelry you have on. And you're like, yeah, but he takes it and locks it in a safe and only lets me wear it when I go out. And they're like, no, look at what he got us. That's the overt. The covert, sweet, nice, oh, so kind, you know? Oh, come on. He doesn't do much when he comes over. He's really quiet. And when I ask him for help, he really helps. And if I want to talk, he listens. It's just a really nice guy, right? So flying monkeys, you will have no one with you, no one on your side, no one to believe you. Everyone you love is on his side. Everyone you trusted, your family members, your friends, your coworkers, they slide right in there. So these are called flying monkeys. And why is it mainly on, of course, every person on his side is on his side. But why is it important to get the people on your side, on his side? So you are alone. So what happens when you are alone? You will always go back to the narcissist, okay? Because you have no one else. He's the only one that's sticking around. He's the only one who's not asking for a divorce. He's the only one who's not leaving. Even though he complains about you day and night, he's still the only one that doesn't leave. You're the one that's contemplating leaving. So what happens? Okay, I'll stay. I'll stay. I have no one else to turn to. So you're going to feel isolated, alone, misunderstood, confused, and of course, back to self-doubt. Solution for flying monkeys, and this is a really tough one. That's why I left it for the last, and that's why it's very hard to detect. It's a lonely, lonely, lonely world when you're in a narcissistic relationship. Your solution for flying monkeys is you have to share your truth publicly. Now, with flying monkeys, you will learn when you're with a narcissist, you won't really be able to share with people about them. You feel bad, you feel guilty, and you want to kind of protect their image. There's something insidious that happens where you will not go and complain. You will not go and share and say. You want to deal with it because you really think it's your fault. Plus, you don't want people to start telling you stuff like, well, you should have, and you could have, and you would have, and maybe try this and clean his socks next time and he'll be happier. You don't want any of that. But I beg you, speak. Just speak. It doesn't matter whether believe you or not. But from the get-go, you start to feel confused and alone, speak. It doesn't matter if anyone believes you or not. What you are doing is you're building a case, okay? You are giving yourself the freedom to speak your truth. You're hurt and confused and alone and nobody gets it. You don't even get it. You're too ashamed to share. You're too ashamed. You have to protect his image. A lot of people who are in abusive relationships go out of their way to protect their partner's image. Now, remember, this is how it looks like. Oh, he's done this and he's done that, but he's a really good guy. I mean, he's really, really good. Like, he gets the groceries. He, listens to me every once in a blue moon. He's really good to my family. I mean, he's a good guy. I mean, anyone who constantly tries to, good guy, they're convincing themselves, okay? Because they're scared. They're scared of who you might think he is. So they'll give this whole thing first, right? But they'll complain. But then when you're like, well, why don't you stand up for yourself? You're like, there's nothing to stand up for. He's just a really good person. And they'll list you all the things that he does good. But this isn't to convince you. This is for them to convince themselves. Okay? So your solution is to have the courage to speak truth. This doesn't mean you are complaining. This doesn't mean that you are ungrateful. This doesn't mean that you are speaking behind this person's back. This simply means that you are giving yourself the freedom to vent and share without having to give at the end, I'm making probably a big deal out of it. He is really good, or she is really good, and most of the times they don't do this. That's narcissism. It's hard to pinpoint it. That's how you know you have flying monkeys. Okay? When you have to constantly dodge the bullet, make sure, oh wait, I don't want to change their whole perception about him, right? Because if they start to see him the way I really see him, shit, I don't know what to do, right? It's very important. Give yourself the freedom. Man, if you don't want to share it with anyone, at least share it on a piece of paper with yourself. At least be honest with yourself about it, because people are scared to be honest with themselves about any of these points. Just be brave enough to share with yourself what you are going through, how you are feeling, isolated, alone, ashamed, and you have doubt in yourself. Write it. I doubt myself. I doubt myself. I doubt myself. Write it so much that it sounds stupid, that you're sick of it and you're going to change it. So I hope this was helpful and insightful. There's so many more things to share, but I thought these were really very important points. You can rewind and rewatch as often as you like. Is there anything you'd like to say, Mel?
Oh, this was amazing. You are so thorough with those and explained it. And I think a lot of people can relate to probably many of those, or have seen people or are in relationships like that, or have friends, or just are familiar with those feelings. And I love that you just point out the point is to, like, use your voice, speak it, get clear on what's going on inside you, and just start using your voice. Like you said, it doesn't matter if it's to them or to yourself, or just start saying it. Just start speaking. I think there's so much value in us using our voice and speaking that a lot of us don't do because we're trying to be nice. We don't want to get it wrong. We don't talk to others. And so we're silently suffering. So I think that's just a huge takeaway. So thank you. Okay, so we want to know, you guys, have you ever encountered any of these signs in your relationships? We would love to hear. So please comment below, share your experiences in the comments. And we also want to know which of these 7 signs that you would like to hear more about. So if there's any of those that you would like Rain to discuss more on, we are happy to do that. Just put those in the comments. Otherwise, please give us a thumbs up if you like this video and found some value in it. Make sure to subscribe so you will get our latest episodes that come out that also related to this. You can go to our Buy Me a Coffee account, which is on our description, which has jewelry. I'm wearing some of our really cute right now. I'm always wearing jewelry. You can check our stuff out there. We also have other products on there and ebooks and e-guides. And also, we're offering a freebie. It's the 11 essential questions for self-discovery. That is also in our description. And don't forget to check out the next episode here. You guys are really going to watch this one. So just click on this one and it'll go to the next video for you. See you on the next episode.